this is my review of Kaitou Joker. Okay, so this episode is mainly to establish that Joker himself has indeed a rival Phantom Thief. This episode mostly just sets up a relationship that Joker has with another one of his former friends and partners, and establishes that they have a bit of a rivalry of sorts. So it starts off with a top secret Phantom Thief network. Going over that there's apparently a larger ranking system with how the Phantom Thieves operate, and that based on how frequently they steal things and what kind of things they go after, the rankings actually are determined based on that. And while Joker is revealed to actually be the top Phantom Thief in the world, there's actually another Phantom Thief that's trailing close behind, a thief known only as Spade. And we sort of meet him in this episode. I'll get to that in a minute. But in case it explains how both Phantom Thieves have actually prepared to steal the Mermaid crystal, which is currently in the possession of Mr. Kaneari, who, as we previously established, was also the guy who had the Dragon Gem. They're actually planning to steal it from Kaneari's private yacht called the Poseidon. And sure enough, Oniyama is there with Momo and Kanji, and they're there, and they're waiting for I haven't actually learned. But in case, Mr. Kaneari is there with his subordinates, and they're actually waiting for Joker to actually make an appearance, pointing out that it's a costume party and he could very easily be in disguise. So they very easily need to keep their eyes peeled, because it's very possible that Joker will actually sneak up on them and get the drop on them. At which point it's announced that they're actually going to be announcing who the costume contest, the rules of the costume contest, and in order to actually and everybody's in a costume. So in order to announce the actual costume contest, a giant platform comes down and Joker is standing on it, and obviously he gets immediately arrested and is pinned down. But then it's revealed that is actually Mr. Kaneari's costume, and that he actually does have a spot-on Joker costume, and then proceeds to snap at Oniyama for thinking that it wasn't actually Joker. So Joker's Kaneari is kind of upset and points out that he doesn't remember actually inviting the police there. And Oniyama just reinforces his point that he's going to continue hounding after Joker until he eventually catches him. But Kaneari reveals that he actually doesn't need Oniyama's help at all, and that this is actually a plan of revenge. And then proceeds to reveal that the reason he's holding a costume party on his private yacht is because he knows it will make it a lot harder for Joker to actually escape. And points out that this time he's actually prepared and actually has made several preparations in case Joker actually shows up. Unaware, and throughout this entire scene, it's actually revealed that Joker and Hachi have actually infiltrated the kitchen staff, and they're completely unaware, and Kaneari and Oniyama are completely unaware that he's already in there. And it's one of the few times we actually see Joker without his mask. He actually has a little blue, I want to say scar, but he has a blue thing covering his eye on the one side. So yeah, it looks very scar-like. But as Joker proceeds to retreat back into the kitchen, two people, one of which is established to have an old friendship with Joker, named King, and another guy who's presumably Spade, and they comment about how they thought it was Joker, but that obviously they didn't know for sure. At which point Joker goes into the kitchen to actually investigate what Hachi's doing, and Hachi is actually using his skills as a chef to actually create large batches of curry for everybody to eat. And also remarks that he doesn't feel like this is the best use of their time, just relaxing until they can actually find a way to actually steal the mermaid gem. And Joker points out that it's probably fine, but then also puts up a protest when it's revealed that Hachi actually uses dipping sauce in his curry. And Joker reveals that he actually has a bad experience with dipping sauce. And we do find out what that bad experience is very late in the episode, but he is actually interrupted by King himself, who actually walks into the room. And though Joker denies being Joker, it is implied that the two have a history, and eventually Joker just kind of slips the tongue and snaps at King. And it's revealed that they actually do have a bit of a history, and that they don't exactly like each other. At which point another Phantom Thief, the Phantom Thief presumably presumed to be Spade, actually walks up and introduces himself as well. And Joker does believe that this guy is actually Spade, and they all proceed to go out onto the main deck to actually discuss things. Namely that it seems like Joker hasn't really changed all that much. And Joker does point out that he actually has changed quite a great deal. Pointing out that he actually has his own apprentice, whereas King has working under the apprenticeship of another Phantom Thief, Spade. So Joker points out that he doesn't really need their help, and that he's actually going to steal the Mermaid gem before they do. But right at that exact moment, Oniyama and his two cohorts actually walk out and see all of the Phantom Thieves in one place, and proceed to go in and actually try to arrest them. But at which point Spade uses his main gimmick, dark evil. It's called Evil Glare, but effectively what it does is that it creates a giant flashing light which knocks people out. And King then proceeds to gloat toward Joker, pointing out that now that they've actually saved them, that he actually owes them a favor, and now obviously he needs to give it up on the whole stealing the Mermaid gem. But Joker refuses, and then proceeds to run into the yacht, and King and Spade actually run in before him though, and actually try to get into the main room before them. At which point Oniyama has since recovered and tries to warn Kaneari about what's going on. But he's too late, as Spade then proceeds to walk in the room into several different guards, and Oniyama just tells them to be on guard, because obviously Spade just knocked three of them out with minimal effort. So obviously he's a very dangerous threat, and they actually do need to be wary of him. At which point Spade gloats that he's going to actually put everybody to sleep, and hopes that they're all been enjoying their festivities up until that point, and proceeds to use Evil Glare again, but it doesn't work. And Spade is promptly arrested and put in a special cage that Kaneari built to contain Phantom Thieves. So he does later explain it in the episode that it was built to hold Joker, and that the main thing it does is that in addition to being an electrified cage, it also can be blown up with the push of a button, similar to the display case from his mansion. And as Hachi does voice concern about what exactly is going on, Joker then proceeds to explain that Spade's technique is apparently harmless. Apparently it's literally just a flash of light and designed to get people to pay attention to Spade's eye, while King actually shoots him with a tranquilizer dart. And it's revealed that Joker actually figured that out relatively quickly, swiped the tranquilizer gun, and then replaced it with a piece of image gum to make it look like an actual gun. And King is obviously very upset by this, but then proceeds to retaliate by breaking Spade out, disguising himself as a security guard, and proceeding to tie up Kaneari so he can disguise himself, and also break Spade out. Meanwhile, Joker does something rather particularly bold, which is that he literally just walks out on the stage, and that is it. And obviously, Oniyama, Hachi is a little confused as to why Joker's doing this, pointing out that he's going to get arrested for sure. But it's revealed that the reason Joker decided he could go out all boldly and just walk out in the middle of the stage is because obviously the police have had a previous instance where they thought it was Joker and it wasn't actually Joker; it was actually Kaneari in a costume. So they're not even going to try and touch Joker. Oniyama is agonizing over whether or not he should actually arrest quote-unquote Joker, because he doesn't know if it's actually Joker or not. But eventually he does decide that this person is being a little too bold for it to not be Joker, and then proceeds to go and ask Joker to show him Kaneari's face and ask him if he actually is indeed Mr. Kaneari. And then proceeds to pull on Joker's face, and it's revealed that it actually is Kaneari in disguise again, or so you would think. And Kaneari does yell at Oniyama for unmasking him again, pointing out once again that it is a costume party and he shouldn't be doing that. But since everybody is declaring that he actually is Kaneari, and also declares that he is indeed the winner of the costume contest, Kaneari then proceeds to pick up the mermaid gem and proceeds to get ready to leave with it, since that's the grand prize. But then another Kaneari walks in, and it's revealed, and they then proceed to start arguing with one another. And obviously, Joker and Oniyama has no idea which one is which, because they look exactly identical. He has no idea what exactly is going. He has no idea what exactly is going on, and isn't sure if either of them are actually disguised, or if there's just one Kaneari, and then the other one is either Joker or King or whoever. And obviously we know that one of them is obviously King and one of them is obviously Joker, since we've seen both of the scenes where they take Kaneari's identity. Obviously Joker disguises himself as himself, and disguises himself as Kaneari disguises himself, which is disguiseception or something, but he is indeed Joker, and we know the other one is King because he actually tied up Kaneari and actually tied him up in the basement, so in order to free Spade. So we know it has to be one or the other. But in any case, they do wind up exposing themselves when Joker notices one of King's speech patterns from Kaneari and declares that he is indeed a fake, and then King then proceeds to point out that the only person who would know that King actually disguised himself as Kaneari would be Joker, and then they both get arrested because they both exposed themselves. They realize that they've actually compromised their own disguises, run off, but are caught in a cage by Kaneari's assistant, and are then put into the Phantom Thief cage. And Kaneari then proceeds to gloat over them, pointing out that he's finally bested both Joker and King. And then points out that they're never actually going to get the mermaid gem because now they've actually been captured, but neither of them really give a shit. So as it turns out, they're too busy arguing with each other over who actually got caught to actually pay Kaneari any actual attention. At which point it's revealed what actually happened between the two. So as it turns out, they are both apprentices of the Phantom Thief Silverheart, who we've seen before. He does the little infomercial things that are slapped in the middle of each episode, but he shows up and then proceeds to explain the backstories of both of them and why they hate each other. As it turns out, King made an entire drink out of dipping sauce that Joker thought was barley tea. And when Joker drank it, he got very upset about the fact that he was tricked. Although King denies actually tricking Joker, pointing out that he just didn't tell him. But in retaliation, Joker tied parachutes to King's bed and then shoved him out of the air Joker. So yeah, in retaliation of that, they effectively became bitter rivals ever since. But in any case, with that out of the way, Kaneari finally decides he's sick of their bickering and decides to just kind of turn the costume party into a show-off party of how he actually finally captured two Phantom Thieves. But as Kaneari is actually taking a victory lap around his yacht, Hachi, using his disguise from earlier as a chef, with Spade, who for whatever reason he's wearing the bandages that he wears over his face, but for whatever reason nobody seems to notice that he's actually wearing a disguise. The two of them actually use Hachi's curry combined with with King's tranquilizers to actually knock everybody out of the party and free both of them. And the two of them realize that just do kind of have a bit of a friendly moment where Spade does point out that Joker has quite the apprentice. And obviously they worked well together, and Joker does point that out. But then it goes right back to the antics when Joker swipes the mermaid gem and then proceeds to run out of the deck with the case. And proceeds to tie it up to a winch to actually send it back into the Air Joker. Except it's revealed that it's not actually the Air Joker. So as we've established, Joker actually has image gum, and it's revealed, and in this episode, it's implied that King has some as well, but it becomes a lot more obvious here when Joker sends it up into what he thinks is the Air Joker, but is revealed to actually be Spade's airship. And then at which point the episode pulls one final twist. As it turns out, King is actually the real Spade. As it turns out, King is actually the real Spade, and that the person we thought was Spade was actually a guy named Dark Eye. So, yeah, and obviously it's a very obvious and misleading thing, since obviously Dark Eye has a big spade on his face, so obviously people are going to think he's Spade when in actuality Spade was disguising himself as King. And obviously Joker's a little upset about this portrayal, pointing out that it's exactly like they were many years ago. But Spade merely points out that he didn't tell Joker, and then they proceed to part ways. And while Joker is initially a little upset about the fact that he lost the mermaid gem, and Hachi even tries to comfort him, it's revealed that Joker actually isn't all that mad about it, and it's revealed that he actually did like being able to bounce off another Phantom Thief, and hopes that he'll actually be able to see Spade again. Meanwhile, Spade finally captures the mermaid gem, and finally satisfied, he then proceeds to collapse, which is revealed to be a high blood pressure thing that Dark Eye is very much aware of, and knows full well as a thing that happens when Spade gets way too excited. And while Spade is kind of recovering from that, he does remark that he's more than happy to see Joker again as well. So it's implied from this episode that they actually hate each other, but not really. They're just kind of rivals, and they just kind of bounce off one another. And while they do put up appearances of kind of hating each other, they don't really. But in case, as Joker points out, that next time they're actually going to steal what they were trying to steal before Spade. Kaneari and Oniyama barge out of the gala room. And proceed to try and catch Joker, and he and Hachi then proceed to jump overboard, and Kaneari, in his frustration, blows up his yacht, similar to how he did with his mansion. He presses the button on his teddy bear, and he blows everything up. And that's how the episode ends. So, yeah, this episode was interesting because it does establish that Spade is very much a rival to Joker, although he did initially go as King. And it's implied that the two are going to continue to kind of bounce off one another, since we find out in the preview for the next episode that they're actually going to be going after the same treasure again. Though Joker declares that he's not going to lose to Spade again. So obviously Spade's going to be another recurring character. But we do get one last little glimpse of another Phantom Thief. We don't actually fully see their face, or we only are implied to know who they are, and we don't actually learn who they are. But we find out that Spade has since surpassed Joker in the polls and has actually become the #1 Phantom Thief, which upsets a third Phantom Thief, who then proceeds to smash her TV into pieces. And we don't actually get to see who she is. I'm assuming we're going to find out who she is in the next episode, since obviously they set her up. Obviously, she's going to be revealed next. But that's my review of Kaitou Joker. What did you guys think? Let's go discussing in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter in the description below, because if you guys do want to help support me, then Twitter is the best way to do that, so be sure to go check that out. And also, if you want to see more, if you want to help support me, then be sure to check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month, and it does help me fund future projects, so if you guys want to go help support me, by all means, go down there and go help support me that way. And finally, if you want to see more content from me, there are actually two ways you can do that. One is by checking out my Twitch on the description below as well. The link is also on the end. The URL is also on the end screen, so you can type it in that way. But I do stream every Sunday, 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to go check that out, by all means, go ahead. Again, link is down in the description and on the end screen. And you can also go there by searching twitch.tv/ZackMarshallSwitch. All of those methods will work. And also the second way you can actually see more content from me is by checking out the videos linked in the end screen. The top video is the most recent video. It may or may not be this one. whereas the bomb video is a video recommended to you based on what you've already seen from me. So, if you want to try something new, or see more of what you like, then be sure to check both of those videos out. But, regardless of whether or not you do any or all those things, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!